Was it really worth spending over 10k on upgrading from the OG RED Komodo to the Komodo X? Let's find out in today's video, as I'll share my honest personal experience having used both of these cameras for various types of underwater video work. Right after the intro. Hey there, you underwater image makers. I hope you're having a great summer so far, with hopefully lots and lots of awesome scuba adventures. If you're anything like me, you keep evaluating on a regular basis whether the camera you're currently using is the best option for the type of underwater video work you're doing. For me, that is mostly underwater wildlife videography, coverages of events like underwater photo and video competitions, and commercial shoots of certain underwater camera and tech gear. About a year ago, shortly after RED announced pretty high price drops on their Komodo and Komodo-X cameras, I started such an evaluating cycle once again, carefully comparing my main underwater camera at that time, the OG RED Komodo, with the Komodo-X, which because of the big price reduction suddenly became a realistic option within my financial reach. It didn't take much convincing from a specs perspective to make me want to upgrade. It also helped that Gates, my preferred underwater housings manufacturer, offered an upgrade option on my existing Deep Komodo housing. The price for these top-of-the-line housings normally start at around 9 to 10k, depending on the camera model. And that is for the base housing only, not including any ports or accessories like external monitors and such. So realistically, you're looking at somewhere between 12 to 15k for a housing for the Komodo X. The upgrade was a manageable 5k, including the shipping and work needed to have my original housing upgraded. By no means cheap, but much better than spending double that amount on a completely new housing. So for a total of around 14k, including the purchase of a new RED Komodo-X camera, I was able to upgrade from the existing OG Komodo to the Komodo-X, and I was very excited about that. But was it the right decision? I mean, have I seen any advantage using the RED Komodo-X over the OG Komodo? Let's look into the 5 most important differences I noticed between using these two cameras to film underwater. Watch out, the last one is going to be a bit of a surprise and one that even I didn't see coming. If we just look at the size and the megapixel count, the sensor of the Komodo-X is identical to the one used in the OG Komodo. But taking a closer look, we see that the Komodo-X sensor comes with a completely new sensor architecture with an updated pixel design. RED claims that the new sensor comes with improved image detail and color in the shadows. And some people say it generally handles low light situations better than the old sensor. I don't have a side-by-side shot where we can compare this, but here are a few comparable shots from each of these cameras. Obviously, this is not a scientific comparison by any means. I do feel though like the Komodo X handles shadows and therefore lower light situations slightly better. What do you think? Which image do you like better? This is a very obvious difference and a clear improvement. While the OG Komodo was somewhat limiting in terms of its available frame rates, 40 at 6K, 60 at 4K and 120 at 2K, the Komodo X doubles on all these frame rates, giving you 80 at 6K, 120 at 4K and 240 at 2K. These extra frames are great for slowing your footage down considerably in post to, for example, showcase fast moving action more dramatically or emphasize a certain behavior or action even more. And all that without sacrificing resolution or field of view. Yes, you can definitely capture slow motion worthy footage with the OG Komodo, but you'll have to drop the resolution to 4K for 60 frames per second or even 2K for 120 frames per second. And as some of you might know, every time you reduce resolution on a RED camera, it performs a crop and you lose some field of view. Not a big deal when you're filming macro, but less than ideal for those dreamy, slow motion, wide angle shots. A very common complaint from OG Komodo users has always been that RED decided to go for the CFast 2.0 system as a media storage system. CFast 2.0 isn't used in a lot of other popular cameras and is pretty expensive when compared to other storage solutions. So many users, including myself, are very happy about RED's decision to go for CF Express Type B media on the Komodo-X. These cards are used in a bunch of other higher-end cameras and they can be purchased at a much lower price compared to CFast 2.0 cards. Sure, the Komodo-X higher frame rates eats up a lot more space, but I still get more actual recording time for my money if compared to the OG Komodo. I definitely like that. Before we look at the next difference, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor of today's video, the awesome people from Scuba Divine Maldives. Scuba Divine Maldives, that is my buddy Rifshan and his team. They run 2 local dive centers on the beautiful islands of Difushi and Dangeti in the tropical paradise we call the Maldives. Most of the example shots you see in this video have been taken while diving with Rifshan and his team over the last 2.5 years. What I really value when diving with Scuba Divine Maldives is their extensive experience with and dedication to underwater image makers. Rifshan himself is an underwater videographer and understands the special needs we have compared to regular divers. And he does everything he can to accommodate for those. So if you're heading over to the Maldives at any time, I can highly recommend you check out Scuba Divine Maldives, stay on one of their local islands for that real Maldivian experience and enjoy some of the best diving the Maldives have to offer. Check them out through the link in the video description below, and if you mention my name when making your booking, Rifshan is going to throw in an extra dive or 2 for you on top of your booked dive package. Thank you very much Scuba Divine Maldives for that awesome offer and for sponsoring today's video. The Komodo-X now uses mini V-mount batteries, whereas the OG Komodo ran with RedWalt BP or compatible third-party batteries. I do like the V-mount system better for a few reasons. It seems to be a more versatile system and the compatible V-mount options are numerous. What I like most about using V-mounts inside my gates housing is that I can use V-mount batteries like these ones here from Small Rig, which can be charged using a 100-watt power adapter and a standard USB Type-C cable. I have these cables with me at all times anyways. This means I don't need to carry a large and bulky battery charger with me anymore when traveling, which saves valuable weight, especially when flying somewhere. This is a much appreciated improvement. Until not too long ago, I would have said that the autofocus on RED cameras is simply not usable, especially not underwater. Having experienced what the Komodo-X's autofocus is capable of though, I have to correct that statement. When I first started using the Komodo-X, I reluctantly turned on the autofocus from time to time to capture some example shots. And while I wasn't expecting any of these shots to be really usable, I was shocked at how well it actually worked. Okay, given I wasn't shooting wide open, but I rarely do, especially when capturing wide angle scenes. I would say the focus was accurate about 90% of the time, which is pretty amazing when you consider what the autofocus on the OG Komodo was like. I had never used it with the OG Komodo because it was just not reliable enough. With the Komodo-X's autofocus, I feel like I'll be relying a lot more on it also for tracking objects, whether that is a diver or a marine animal. This new and well-working autofocus was the biggest surprise for me in this entire upgrading process and makes a huge difference in how I use my Komodo-X underwater compared to how I used to work with my OG Komodo. So, answering the question we asked right at the beginning, was it all worth the effort and extra spending? My answer is a clear yes. The 5 mentioned differences don't seem to be huge ones, but they are all important in their own way to me and really make this upgrade more than worthwhile. Has my underwater videography improved dramatically because I switched to the Komodo-X? Probably not, but it's making it easier to acquire similar or even slightly better results, and that's what it's all about as an underwater image maker, isn't it? Getting slightly better one step at a time, using the available technology to your advantage and creating imagery and stories that evoke emotions and show non-divers the amazing world we as scuba divers are privileged to enjoy from time to time. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and the example shots I showed you. If you did, how about sharing it with a dive buddy who might enjoy it too? And don't forget to subscribe for more underwater video related content. Should you want to learn more about the difference in image quality between the various underwater camera types, go and check out this video over here next. Have a great week guys and keep capturing your awesome underwater adventures. I will see you in the next one.